I was looking at my neighbor's kitchen table the other day, and I saw something that really made me stop and think. It was a stack of mail that looked completely normal, but as we started talking about how much everything costs lately, we decided to actually look at the line items on those bills. What we found was not one big mistake or a giant scam. It was a series of small, quiet charges that have been sitting there for years. I noticed this myself when I helped my own parents go over their monthly expenses last summer. There are certain fees that many younger people canceled years ago because the technology changed. But for many seniors, these charges are still active because they were set up decades ago and never questioned. Most people never check these specific lines because they look like part of the standard service. This is where the money slips away. It is not about panic. It is about paying attention to where your hard-earned money is actually going every month. I want to show you exactly what to look for so you can keep that money in your own pocket. By the end of this video, you will know which 9 fees are most likely draining your account right now. I am especially interested in item number 7 because it is one of the biggest monthly expenses that people pay for years without ever getting a single benefit. If you want to stay ahead of these quiet money traps, go ahead and subscribe to Better Deal Daily. We look at the real numbers that impact regular Americans every single day. Let's look at that first bill together. Item number 1, landline protection plans. This one looks harmless on a phone bill. It usually shows up as inside wire protection or a line maintenance fee. I started noticing this on receipts when I realized that many people are paying $5 to $10 a month for a service they will likely never use. This fee was designed back when phone companies owned the wiring inside your house and would charge a fortune to fix a static-filled line. Today, most phone service is delivered through fiber optics or digital cables that rarely fail in the way old copper wires did. Even if a wire did break, the total cost of a one-time repair is often less than what you pay in fees over just 2 years. Many shoppers are noticing that these charges stay on the bill even after they switch to a digital or internet-based phone service. I used to think this was just a normal part of having a home phone, but when you realize you're paying over $100 a year for just in case, the math stops making sense. Check your phone bill for any mention of wire maintenance or line insurance. If you have modern wiring or a digital phone service, this is likely an unnecessary cost. The verdict on this one is simple. Compare the cost of a potential repair versus what you pay every month. For most people, it is better to skip the protection and keep the cash. Item number 2, cable box rental fees. This is one people pay for every month without thinking because it feels like a requirement. I noticed this when I saw a bill for a house that had 4 different televisions. Each one had a small box tucked behind it, and each box was costing $15 every single month. That is $60 a month just for the hardware to watch the service you are already paying for. Most people do not realize that modern smart TVs and small streaming sticks can often replace these boxes entirely. Many cable companies now have an app that lets you watch all your channels without the extra box. I started looking into this myself and found that returning just 2 extra boxes could save a household nearly $400 a year. This is the kind of charge people skip over because they think they need the equipment to get a signal. But the technology has changed, and those clunky boxes are often just a way for companies to pad the bill. Take a look at how many boxes you have and ask yourself if you really watch cable on every single one of those screens. You may want to compare the cost of a one-time purchase, like a streaming stick, against the monthly rental fee. Small charges do not feel big until they repeat every month for 5 years. The verdict is to return any equipment you are not using daily. Don't let those boxes sit in a guest room gathering dust while they collect your money. Item number 3, paper statement fees. This one surprised me when I first saw it because it feels like you are being punished for how you choose to read your mail. Many utility companies and banks have started charging $2 or $3 every month just to send you a paper bill. They call it a convenience fee or a processing fee. When I checked this myself, I realized that for someone with 10 different bills, that can add up to $30 a month. That is $360 a year just for the privilege of getting a piece of paper in the mailbox. I know many people prefer paper because it serves as a physical reminder to pay the bill, but companies are using that habit to quietly drain your account. This used to be a free service that was included in the cost of doing business. Now, it is a way for them to push their own administrative costs onto you. I started noticing this on receipts for water bills and even some credit cards. You can usually turn this off by logging into your account online and selecting paperless billing. If you still want a physical record, you can always print the statement yourself or save it as a file on your computer. This is not about saving the environment for the company. It is about them saving money while charging you more. Check your bills for a paper statement fee or a mail delivery charge. The verdict is to switch to digital if you are comfortable doing so. That extra $3 belongs in your wallet, not theirs. Item number 4, high-cost identity theft protection. This one is a common purchase for people who are worried about their security online. I started noticing that many seniors are paying $20 or $30 a month for premium identity protection services. These services often promise to monitor your credit and alert you to any changes. While that sounds great, many people do not realize that they can get most of these services for free. Most major credit card companies and even many banks now include credit monitoring as a free benefit of your account. You can also freeze your credit files for free at the 3 major bureaus, which is often more effective than just monitoring them. I used to think these paid services offered a special shield that you couldn't get anywhere else. But when you read the fine print, you realize they are often just doing what you could do yourself in 10 minutes. It is worth checking whether your bank already provides these alerts before you pay for a separate subscription. Small charges for protection can feel like a safety net, but often they are just a recurring expense for a service you already have elsewhere. This is the kind of fee that smart consumers avoid once they see the overlap. The verdict is to check your existing bank and credit card benefits first. You may be paying for a duplicate service that offers no extra value. Item number 5, traditional checking account maintenance fees. This is one of those old school fees that many people have lived with for so long they think it is mandatory. I noticed this when a family member mentioned they were being charged $12 a month just to have a checking account. This used to be standard at big national banks, unless you kept a very high balance. But today, there are countless options for accounts that have no monthly fees and no minimum balance requirements. Many credit unions and online-only banks offer the exact same services without the monthly maintenance charge. I started noticing that many seniors stay with the same bank for 40 years out of loyalty. But that loyalty is often rewarded with fees that younger customers refuse to pay. When you add it up, a $12 monthly fee is almost $150 a year. That is money that could be spent on groceries or gas instead of just sitting in the bank's profit margin. This is not about moving all your money overnight. It is about looking at your statement and seeing if monthly maintenance fee appears anywhere. If it does, it is worth calling the bank to see if they can waive it or considering a switch to a fee-free account. Regular people should not have to pay a bank for the right to let the bank hold their money. The verdict is to find an account that doesn't charge you to exist. Don't assume the big-name brand bank is the only option. Item number 6, directory assistance charges. This one might seem small, but it is a classic example of a fee that has become outdated. I noticed this on a phone bill where someone had dialed 411 to find a local business number. The charge for that single call was nearly $3. In the age of smartphones and the internet, paying $3 for a phone number is a very bad deal. Most people have a voice assistant on their phone or a computer that can give them that information for free in seconds. Even if you don't use a computer, simply calling the business directly, if you have the number saved, is always the better choice. I started noticing that some phone companies even charge a monthly fee just to have unlimited directory assistance. This is a service that used to be a helpful utility, but has now turned into a high-priced trap for those who haven't changed their habits. It is worth checking your recent phone activity to see if these small charges are slipping through. I used to think 411 was just a part of the phone system, but now it is a luxury service with a budget-breaking price tag. If you need a number, try to look it up on a free site, or ask a family member to text it to you. The verdict is to avoid dialing 411 at all costs. It is one of the most overpriced services left on the modern phone bill. Item number 7, extended appliance warranties. This is the one I teased earlier because it is such a massive drain on many households. I noticed this when I was helping a neighbor clear out some old files. She had been paying $5 or $10 a month for years for a protection plan on a refrigerator that was already 12 years old. These plans are often sold at the checkout counter or through the mail as a way to protect your investment. But the reality is that these warranties are often filled with fine print that makes it very hard to actually get a repair. Many shoppers are noticing that by the time an appliance actually breaks, the company claims the parts are no longer available or the specific problem isn't covered. I started looking at the math and realized that if you took that same $10 a month and put it in a dedicated savings account, you would have enough to buy a brand new appliance by the time the old one wears out. This is the kind of fee that seniors are often targeted with because they value the peace of mind. But true peace of mind comes from having the cash in your own account rather than a contract in a drawer. I used to think these were a smart way to avoid big repair bills. But when you compare the total cost of the warranty over 5 years to the cost of a one-time repair, the warranty almost always loses. Check your credit card statements or your mail for recurring home protection or appliance insurance charges. The verdict is to cancel these plans and start your own repair fund instead. You will likely end up with more money and fewer headaches. Item number 8. Unused club memberships or subscriptions. This one looks like a good deal on the surface, which is why it is so dangerous for your budget. I am talking about things like roadside assistance clubs, warehouse store memberships, or even senior-specific discount groups. These are great if you actually use the discounts every single month, but I started noticing that many people pay the annual or monthly fee out of habit, even if they haven't used a single benefit in over a year. For example, if you pay for a roadside assistance membership but your car insurance already includes towing, you are paying for the same thing twice. I noticed this myself when I realized I was paying for a wholesale club membership but only shopping there twice a year. When you calculate the membership fee against the actual savings, I was actually losing money every time I walked through the door. This is where the money slips away because it feels like you are being a smart shopper by having the membership. But a discount is only a deal if you were going to buy the item anyway, and the savings exceed the cost of the membership. Take a look at all the cards in your wallet and ask yourself when you last used them to actually save money. You may want to compare the cost of the fee against your actual receipts from the last 6 months. Small charges for memberships can add up to hundreds of dollars of wasted potential. The verdict is to only keep the memberships that you use at least once a month. If you haven't used it by now, you probably won't use it next month either. Item number 9. Premium cable packages for hidden channels. This is the final item on our list, and it is one that often gets overlooked during the initial setup. I noticed this when I was looking at a cable bill that was over $200 a month. When we looked at the channel list, the person was paying for a premium tier just to get 1 or 2 specific channels they liked. What they didn't realize was that many of those channels can now be bought individually through an app for a fraction of the cost. Or, even better, those specific shows might be available for free through a local library app. I started noticing that cable companies often bundle one popular channel with 50 channels nobody watches. They use this to justify a $30 price hike on your monthly bill. I used to think you had to buy the whole package to get what you wanted, but today you have choices that didn't exist 10 years ago. It is worth calling your provider and asking for a basic or starter package and then seeing if you can fill the gaps with a cheaper alternative. This is not about giving up your favorite shows. It is about paying for the shows you watch instead of the ones you don't. Most people never check the actual channel lineup they are paying for. The verdict is to audit your TV viewing habits and trim the fat. Don't pay for 50 channels of static just to get 1 channel of news or movies. As we look back at these 9 fees, a very clear pattern starts to emerge. The biggest money traps aren't usually the big, expensive purchases we agonize over for weeks. The real damage is done by the small, recurring charges that we set up once and then forget for a decade. Companies rely on our habits and our loyalty to keep their profits high. They know that once a fee is on your bill, you are unlikely to spend the 20 minutes it takes to call and remove it. But those 20 minutes could be the most profitable time you spend all month. I want you to feel empowered to look at your bills with a critical eye. This is not about being cheap. It is about being a smart steward of your own finances so you can spend your money on things that actually bring you joy. Most people notice these charges far too late, but you are noticing them today. Your simple action for today is to pick just one bill, maybe your phone or your cable bill, and look at every single line item. If you see a word you don't recognize or a fee that seems high, call and ask what it is for. You might be surprised at how quickly that money comes back to you. If you found this helpful, please subscribe to Better Deal Daily and give this video a like. It helps us reach more people who are tired of paying more for less. I would love to hear from you in the comments. Is there a bill or a hidden fee that you recently questioned or canceled? Sharing your experience helps everyone in this community become a smarter consumer. We have some great videos coming up about grocery price traps and how to handle car repair upsells, so stay tuned for those. Remember, it is your money, and you deserve to keep more of it. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.